think there are two things that you need to try and balance. First is how hard you should work, and the second is how much you should work. Now, when you're working, you want to try and be in the middle. You don't want it to be too easy and you don't want it to be too hard. If it's too easy, then you'll feel like you're not improving and you'll also get bored. But if it's too hard, then you might get frustrated and you might never go back to it. It's like someone that lifts weights. They're always going to start easy and build on it. But if they go overboard, then they might get injured and not be able to do any more. So the best way is to start relatively easy and gradually improve, always staying in this region. That's the best way. And you can only do that if you start early on in the year. Now, how much to work will depend on two things: where you're up to and how much time you've got left. But if we generally take what you spend most of your time on in two areas, subject areas and non-subject areas, that can be like going to college and that can be basically anything else. But it's important to have a balance, trying to spend as much time as you can on both of them, equal amounts of time. And if you're spending too much time on other activities, then you're going to be falling behind with your subject studies. But then again, if you spend too much time on your subject studies, that's got its own problems. And the main one being that you feel like you're missing out. But not only that, if it's close to the exams and you're constantly studying, then you won't be moving as much and you might not get as much oxygen and all these sort of things. Now, these can add to your ability to perform in an actual exam. That's why it's so important to have a balance as much as possible, especially when you run up to the exam. And I would recommend, if you're up to date and if you've spent enough time on your studies and you know everything, then it might be worth taking a day before an actual exam completely off and doing as many non-subject related activities as you can. But you can only do that if you're up to date, and that means you've started early on in the year. Non-subject activities like playing games or watching TV, then these are all really good because they can help you relax. The problem is when they become a distraction, and that's why there needs to be a balance. Now, if you're bored, then it probably means that you need to do either more of this or more of this. But usually you need to learn more, you need to challenge yourself. It's sort of like a fire. And if you distract yourself at that stage, then you're sort of extinguishing the fire, which can be a problem. Because if you keep doing that, then you're going to be capable of less next time. Relaxing means to refresh the mind so it's ready to do more thinking. And it's done by using another part of the mind. Now, if you are studying and then you go play something like football, then you're using different skills, like coordination or communication. So, it's so important to try and do as many different things as you can, especially during the exams.